The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke, Kevin Price, and Robbie Ross. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, Sean. Just glad to be here talking high school sports again. Been a busy last couple of weeks and going to be a busy spring for sure. So a lot to talk about here today, so let's go ahead and do it.
Exactly. And Kevin, let's start right back at last Saturday. We all got up and met over at Brunswick early in the morning for 11 o'clock University of Georgia Championship Parade, honoring two of our local heroes there with Jack Podlesny from Glenn Academy and Warren McClendon from Brunswick High School. It was a great day over there in Brunswick. Man, I was just super impressed with the turnout. Steve Waters, the AD over there, got us right in the front of the parade, so we kind of led that thing off. And man, it was just a really exciting day. And I know those kids had to be proud to have their hometown turn out for them like they did.
Yeah, for sure. It was just a fun day. The weather was great. A little bit crisp and cool in the morning, but the sun was shining and the skies were bright, and everybody pretty much had a smile on their face, just a relaxed atmosphere, kind of a wholesome family fun atmosphere. A short and sweet parade, but everybody got to see everybody. People got to congregate with each other on the sides of the streets and say hey to people. And, of course, we all waved back and forth at each other during the parade. And I know we had a lot of fun. And, I know your little nephew had a lot of fun throwing out the candy and mashing the button on the Glen siren as we went by. I know he had a thrill sitting in the back of the truck. Got to eat a lot of candy, too, and I know that was his highlight of the day. But he was just a good kid and had a lot of fun. And that's kind of what it's all about. We were all like kids having fun. We were all like kids, or at least I know I was, the night that Georgia won the national championship game. And I've come off that high a little bit, but, we're all still basking in the glory. And there was just a lot of how about them dogs, go dogs, a lot of red and black, a lot of Glenn Academy red and white, Brunswick High blue and gold. It was just a great day, for Glenn County to celebrate our local kids and the big achievement that they were a part of. And then everybody just kind of come together and have fun under the umbrella of UGA football.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of Warren McClendon jerseys, saw a lot of Jack Postlevsky jerseys. Like I said, the community really turned out for these kids. Both football teams, the Brunswick High football team and the Glen Academy football team, were involved there. Both bands were, there playing on the street. So, man, just a fantastic atmosphere. Like I said, got to give away a lot of candy. Got to play a lot of Georgia music coming out of the truck as we rolled down the street. So, it was just a really, really good time. And like I said, hats off to Steve Waters. Hats off to the Brunswick community. Hats off to the police departments over there for putting that thing on, getting the streets blocked off and allowing us to ride down. And I'm going to let you say it.
Gloucester Street,
because I know I can't say it. So anyway, but it was just an excellent day and something that everybody will remember for a long time.
Yeah, no question. And it was the old parade route for people that are familiar with it. I mean, we've had parades go from Howard Coffin Park down to the Mary Ross waterfront at the end of Gloucester Street. Some people say Gloucester. There's different ways to pronounce it, but I understand you struggle with it, and that's fine. It's been a running joke in the 912 family for a while. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we've had homecoming parades make that route. We've had a spring fiesta parade that we used to have. The Christmas parade, I think, still makes that route. So it was a familiar route. People knew what they were doing. I kind of, when we were going by, I kind of refamiliarized myself with a lot of the so-called staging areas. I think a lot of people know where Grand Central Station is along that route and where the grandstand might be had they had one. And, of course, we saw different pockets of people in some of the most popular spots. And that was kind of cool just to ride up and see the masses of people on both sides of the road. I think the estimate, Sean, was anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500. We're going to go with the high number, 1,500. And, of course, we'll have more on the parade coming up later in the show.
Yeah, like I said, was a great day over there. But, Kevin, a lot of these teams here around the 912 are getting ready to go off into the basketball state playoffs. Those games were actually held Tuesday and Wednesday. But let's just go back and kind of give everybody a list of who made the state tournaments, who won their region, and who's actually ranked here going into the basketball state playoffs.
Yeah, so we cover teams in Georgia High School Association and GISA from the biggest schools to the smallest schools. We have somebody, at least one team in every classification. So we're well represented in these state tournament brackets. And Sean, I'll just start with Class 7A. Both Camden teams made it into Class 7A. The Camden girls, the number 3 seed out of Region 1-7A. The boys, the number 2 seed. Now in 6A, of course, that's one of our more popular regions where we have a lot of teams involved. But on the girls' side, Brunswick High went in as a region champion, the number 1 seed. Remember, we were at the game where they blasted Bradwell Institute, and Bradwell ends up being the number 2 seed, the only team to have beaten Brunswick High going into the postseason. Statesboro 3, Glen Academy 4. On the boys' side, some really good teams, particularly at the top. Statesboro 1, Effingham 2, Glen Academy 3, and Bradwell 4. In Class 5A, again, that's one of our strongholds. In the girls' side, Ware 2, Coffee 3, Wayne 4. On the boys' side, just our 2 teams, Wayne and Coffee, made it as 3 and 4. Now in 3A, we're loaded again. A lot of those little South Georgia schools play good sports across the board, and the same goes for basketball. But in boys, Long County was the region champion. Tatnall went as the number 2 seed. Pierce went as the 3, and Brantley went as the 4. In girls, Pierce number 1, Tatnall number 2, Long 3, and Brantley 4. 2A, another stronghold for us. Vidalia won the boys. Woodville Tompkins out of Savannah was the 2nd seed. Toombs finished 3. Jeff Davis finished 4. On the girls' side, it was Swainsboro as the region champion. Woodville Tompkins again in the 2 slot. Vidalia 3 and Jeff Davis 4. And then down in single A, Clinch and Charlton both went at it in the boys and girls championship games in that region. Charlton won the boys and Clinch finished 2nd. And then in the girls, it was the opposite. Clinch won and Charlton finished 2nd. Then, Sean, if you look at the state polls after the region tournaments going into this state tournament, had several teams ranked. Of course, in 6A boys, Statesboro, a top 10 team. Brunswick, a top 5 team, depending on what poll you look at. In girls, in 3A, it looks like, Vidalia is ranked, I believe, in the boys. And then Pierce and Tatnall, the 1 and 2 seeds out of that region, both ranked in the top 10. And then in 2A girls, Swainsboro, a top 10 team. And then in single A girls, Clinch, one of the perennial powers, of course, in this area, a top 10 team. So as we move on into this state tournament, we're going to be through the second round already this weekend. We'll be down to the Sweet 16. And it's not that it wasn't serious when it got started, but if you make the Sweet 16, you certainly still got a chance for that state championship. And everything gets a little sweeter and a little harder as you work your way to the Final Four and the finals there in Macon.
Right. And you can follow all the brackets on ghsa.net. We're going to have an update next Thursday on who is in that Sweet 16, Kevin. So we'll let everybody know. You guys are going to have games if, if Brunswick makes it or Glenn, anybody from that Golden Isles area makes it, we'll have those games on 912sports.net. So you can check our social media, check our website for updates on those games. But one thing we do know, Kevin, is that's Golden Isles baseball is coming up this weekend. It's the second weekend for baseball at the beach, and I believe you guys have got 2 games on tap.
We do. Of course, we started last weekend with baseball at the beach. The teams at least had one game earlier, Glenn and Brunswick, to kind of warm up for the baseball at the beach tournament, and that's where we made our 2020 debut, if you will, but our 2022 debut, if you will, our third season of Golden Isles baseball. But we had a couple of games this weekend, one featuring Glenn, one featuring Brunswick. And, of course, the Glenn game also featured McIntosh County Academy, a rare 912 area code matchup in the baseball at the beach, which usually pits South Georgia against Metro Atlanta, but had 2 South Georgia teams right here from our neck of the woods going at it. But another big weekend. They've spread this thing out over 2 weekends and 3 ballparks, including the 2 home ballparks of both Glenn and Brunswick, but also old historic Edo Miller Park, where both Brunswick and Glenn used to play. They're still using that facility for this tournament. And another group of teams will come down, and our 2 games will be Friday night. Scheduled is Brunswick against Johns Creek. Saturday afternoon on the schedule is Glenn Academy against Johns Creek. The reason we chose Johns Creek, Sean, as you know, Billy Nicholson is a former Brunswick High School baseball and football player. He's the coach at Johns Creek, and then also he is the president of the Georgia Dugout Club, which does a really good job of keeping things organized in terms of high school baseball and promoting high school baseball throughout the state of Georgia.
Yeah, it should be some good games over there, Kevin, on the coast this Friday and Saturday. And, of course, Gator baseball is underway as well, right there on 912sports.net as well. We've got 2 big games coming up this Friday. The Gators will be hosting Appling County after defeating them on the road last week. I believe the final score was 8-3. Appling will be coming to Ware County this Friday night. And then Gators got to go on the road Saturday, going to go over to Thomas County Central, but we're playing Pike County. Is a little tournament that they have every year, and the Gators have been a part of that. Thomas County Central actually came to Ware County this past Saturday for a really good game. The Gators were able to win 1-0. But like I said, going to go on the road on Saturday over to Thomas County Central to play Pike County and try to avenge a loss from last year where Pike County Gators had a big lead against this team last year. I think it was 5-1 or 4-1, and wound up losing the game in an extra innings. So we'll see if Gators can kind of exact some revenge on Pike County this Saturday. But like I said, all those games, all those schedules, Kevin, are right there on 912sports.net, so you can keep up with everything right there on the website.
Yeah, just a quick note on Gator baseball, and I guess also one of their top rivals, Wayne County baseball. Right now this week, I've been working on 2 stories that are going to be in our upcoming baseball-oriented issue. One is on Ware County's Carter Barnes, and then the other is on Luke Boykin of Wayne County. 2 of the better baseball players in this area, but both really impressive kids. I enjoy talking to their head coaches and also both kids. And not because I wrote those stories, but those are going to be 2 good stories about 2 good kids who are really serious about baseball and just real good kids in general, good representatives of their school, and certainly both kids that have bright futures, possibly coming up in baseball, but then also in life in general.
Right, and both of them are going to probably wind up at the University of Georgia unless Carter gets an offer to go play football or go play baseball somewhere. Right now, I think he's leaning toward going to university. I know he was accepted, and we know that Luke Boykin is already committed to go play at Georgia. Luke's problem, or not problem, let me rephrase that. Luke's decision is going to be if he gets drafted in the spring, what does he do? Where does he get drafted? If there's enough money on the table, does he go ride a bus for a couple years in the minors? or does he just go off to school and and play his college ball and then try to go into the pros after that if that's if that's in the cards for him. But like I said, you're right, Kevin. Two great young men. Looking forward to reading those stories. And then, like I said, they will be in the new baseball issue, which is our March April issue that'll be coming out here soon. So, but let's Kevin, we got one other topic that we want to talk about, and that's the GHSA just released its statistics, or I guess it's payout. Really, not statistics. It's payout on what the football championships have generated. And one of the things that you and I kind of find, I don't know if it's alarming is the right word, Kevin, but over the last 3 years, the attendance has gone down, down, and down. Now, I think it's a direct correlation of being in an outside venue versus an indoor venue, but that's actually open for debate. But this year, for 2021, the attendance was 22,631 paid tickets at Pack Stadium, which is Georgia State Stadium. Last year, the COVID year, which was 2020, the attendance was 24,476. So even in the height of COVID, the numbers were even higher than what it was this past season. I don't know if it's weather. I don't know if it's an outdoor venue. I don't know if maybe, people were a little bit more, I guess, fearing COVID more because last year in 2020, people were just able to get out the door and they were going for it regardless. So, there's a lot of different factors, Kevin. But if you go back a couple of years, if you go back to 2016, they sold almost 48,000 tickets in Mercedes-Benz or Georgia Dome. I can't remember which stadium it was in that year, but that's double the number of what they're selling there at PAC. So the question becomes, does GHSA have to look at paying that extra money for someplace like Mercedes-Benz to get it back indoors to try to drive those ticket sales up? Or if it's just a situation where they just kind of got to make the best of an outdoor stadium. And I really don't know what the answer is, but it's definitely going to be a debate that they're going to have.
Yeah, for sure. And let's be realistic. The Georgia High School Association loves making the dollar bill. We know that.
Yeah.
They charge us for games to broadcast that we've been broadcasting all year, sitting in the same spot in the same press booth that we've sat in. And they charge us to broadcast a playoff game because they think our broadcast is going to hurt their attendance, which is a bunch of baloney. People are going to come or they're not, and some people are going to listen on a mobile device. But that's a whole nother story, Sean. But the bottom line is the GHSA, as much as anybody likes making those George Washingtons, and the bottom line is it's pretty simple math. If you have to spend more money to make more money, that's one possibility. Of course, they're spending less money to rent Georgia State, but also it obviously looks like they're making less money. So we kind of did the math, and if you look at doubling that attendance and what the cost is for a ticket, we don't think that the building for Mercedes-Benz to rent that facility actually costs that much more. So the profits would be bigger if they are willing to spend some money. Now, look, Georgia State's a fine venue. They've rolled out the red carpet for the Georgia High School Association. The thing is, though, it is outdoors. And the first year they had it, the weather was real iffy, probably even more so than this past year. Now, in 2020, Sean, you might remember that we also had to back up the season. So those state championship games were actually during the holidays.
Right.
Not enough history there to know if that helps or hurts. More people might have been off, but at the same time, people had a lot of stuff going on. So, when they can sit back and maybe watch it on TV and continue to unwrap Christmas presents or celebrate the new year with families, maybe that's what they'll do. But then also we've had COVID both years. Of course, 2020, like you say, it did impact the football season more, all the 2020 fall season, than it did in 2021. But still, right around the time in 2021, the Omicron variant and the Delta variant were still out there. Omicron was starting to really pop up right around that time. And of course, it really exploded going right into Christmas. And, so you've got an outdoor venue, you've got COVID. I'm not sure that the GHSA is going to necessarily hit the panic button, but they could get a lot of pressure from outside or of course, their members in their organization to maybe do something about this. And the fact is, the percentages of payouts is based on the size of the school and the classification you're in. And we won't get into those numbers, but everybody gets a certain cut of the money. And if these schools are getting less money, particularly some of the teams that feel pretty good about themselves being there most every year, and relying on that money, might be a little bit of a dangerous move to make, relying on getting that far every year. But let's face it, some schools do get there every year, and that might be a big part of their budget in terms of what they factor in terms of how much money they might have. So, again, the dollar speaks. The GHSA likes the dollar, so this is going to be something certainly worth watching. You've always had both people on all sides of the fence in this equation, whether or not the game should be at a neutral site, whether they should be home and home. I like the neutral site in terms of if you go, you get to see all the games in one venue. It's easy for television to do that. I understand that. But if all the matters come together and all the powers that be come together, there might be a way to still make things work. And it may be as simple as going back to Mercedes-Benz.
Exactly. Well, and I'm all for it. If you're going to have it outside, hey, why not have it at Mercer? That's halfway between north and south. Instead of every team in the south having to travel to the north, let's meet halfway and do it at Mercer. If you're going to keep it outside. Now, if you're going to move it to Mercedes-Benz and it's going to be an indoor venue, that's a completely different animal. And I'm all for that, because it doesn't matter if it's 35 or 75. You got fixed climate. Everybody can be comfortable and watch a football game. I know a couple of years ago, whenever Pierce won the state championship back in 2020, I know those Bear fans didn't mind it, but it was actually super cold that day. And it would have been a lot different atmosphere being in Mercedes-Benz than it was sitting there at packed stadium. So we'll see what GHSA does. Like you said, I don't think they're ready to hit the panic button either because of all the different variables. But it'll be interesting to watch over the next couple of years if that thing does get moved back to an indoor facility, which would be Mercedes-Benz, or if it stays outdoors. And we'll just kind of follow along and keep everybody posted. But those are some interesting numbers when they did come out.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
If you bleed red and black, don't like the Florida Gators, and think ugly is so ugly he's cute, you might be a die-hard Georgia Bulldog fan. And this past Saturday, downtown Brunswick would have been the perfect spot for you. With most people wearing their own Georgia red and black, including their new Dogs National Championship gear, Glenn County held a Bulldog parade late Saturday morning to bring the local dogs together for a collective bark while honoring the locals who helped Georgia topple Alabama and claim the school's first national college football championship since Herschel Walker, Buck Bellew, and Lindsey Scott led the Bulldogs to the 1980 national crown. This year's UGA team included Jack Podlesny, the starting kicker from Glenn Academy, and also Warren McClendon Jr., a starting offensive lineman from Brunswick High. The two local players and several locals who march in the Georgia Redcoat Band were featured in Saturday's parade. The parade started out at Howard Coffin Park and proceeded up Gloucester Street to the local waterfront. Some 1,500 people lined both sides of the street to watch as the parade passed. 912 Sports helped kick off the festivities from the front of the parade lineup as we waved at the crowd and inspired some Bulldog barks from the parade watchers as we had our Georgia Spirit songs pumping through the stereo speakers, tossed out candy to the kids along the route, and fired up the well-known Glen Academy siren that we had in the back of the pickup truck to rev up the crowd. Filling out the lineup behind us were other parade participants such as New Brunswick Mayor Cosby Johnson, Grand Marshal Adam Wainwright, a star pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals and a former Glen Academy great, a big red fire engine carrying the BHS and GA cheerleaders, some English Bulldogs cruising the strip with their owners, and of course the featured guests, Hot Pot and Big Warren. Bands from the local schools were staged along the parade route, as were the Glen Academy and Brunswick High football teams, who wore their game day jerseys for the occasion. Following the parade, Glen County Schools Athletics Director and parade organizer Steve Waters hosted a luncheon at Glen County Stadium for Podlesny and McClendon and their families. It was during this time that local media had a chance to talk with the local Bulldogs about the national championship and Saturday's local celebration. When all was said and done, the 33-18 final score from the national title game was still on the scoreboard, and Saturday was definitely another great day to be a Georgia Bulldog. For 912 Sports, this has been Georgia graduate Kevin Price reporting. Go Dog!
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
All right, so here we are with Steve Waters, athletic director here in Glen County Schools. He has some other big-time titles as well. But Steve, hometown parade for the local guys today that played for the Georgia Bulldogs, Warren McClendon, Jack Podlesny, and of course all the members of the Red Coat Band from here. You obviously spent a lot of time putting this together. How pleased were you with the turnout and just the way things went?
I was thrilled with the turnout. I really had no idea. I knew it was going to be good weather today, but you just never know with things like this, especially on a holiday weekend. But I was talking to Warren right after the parade, and I think there had to be over 1,000 people there. I mean, it was lined up really from the start of the parade to the end. So just thrilled, thankful for the Brunswick community, Golden Isles community, and everyone that came out to support Warren, Jack, the Red Coat members, and of course, big thanks to Adam Wainwright for coming and being the parade grand marshal, and just a thrill. I don't know anything about putting together parades, but I think it came off okay, and I think everybody had a good time.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
All right, so here we are with Jack Podlesny, former Glen Academy kicker, and of course the kicker for the national championship Georgia Bulldogs. Jack, big parade in town in honor of you and Warren McClendon, and also the members of the Red Coat Band. I know y'all went through this in Athens, a big turnout, right after the game, but here we are several weeks later, and you're back home. Was this comparable to the one in Athens?
Yes and no. Just to see, knowing that this is a 4-day weekend and thinking I was coming in here and I was like, sparse crowd, but going out there was the exact opposite. Just seeing how much this community supports us and has the love behind our backs is pretty freaking awesome.
Well, talk about that. I mean, we talked with Steve about it. I mean, this community supports Adam Wainwright. They support you guys. They've supported other college and professional athletes that even though they might not root for that particular team, they want to see the guys do good. But you guys are different. Y'all play for the Georgia Bulldogs. This is Bulldog country. Certainly Georgia-Florida weekend every year. But when you come back and get in this atmosphere, do you realize this is Bulldog country, and did you realize this is a pretty cool place to have grown up?
Most definitely. There's the connection between everyone. Even with the diehard Georgia fans, they don't see us just as athletes, they see us as people too. And to know that that's how they view us is a great aspect.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
All right, so here we are with big Warren McClendon, starter at the University of Georgia on the offensive line. Of course, he comes from those good McClendon bloodlines that played at Glenn Academy and also played at UGA. But Warren, thanks for your time, and talk about the reaction that you and Jack got as y'all, rode down Gloucester. I mean, what were people yelling at you? Was it a bunch of barking? Was it go dogs?
Yeah.
I mean, what all did you hear out there?
A bunch of barking, go dogs, a bunch of people saying thank you for bringing it back finally, saying congratulations, go dogs, stuff like that.
And what's it been like in Athens since, I guess school started back in January and we're, a month or so removed from the game? The initial excitement has worn off, but obviously there's still a lot of excitement there. I mean, when you guys walk around campus and people maybe recognize your face or see you wearing a Georgia Bulldog sweatshirt or something with football on it, I mean, what's kind of been the reaction from the student body and just Athens in general?
It's starting to wear down a little bit, after the being a month out. But, when I see them, when people see me around campus, they'll say, like, congratulations, go dogs, stuff like that. Ask me how the game went, how it felt, and stuff.
Has it really sunk in to you at this point? I know I talked to you maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago myself, but has it really sunk into you what you have done and what this means to the Georgia people?
It's sunk in a little bit, yeah. I don't think it'll really hit me until we get our rings, and then we have that final celebration with the rings. But it's sunk in a little bit.
And, of course, y'all are back to work already. Just talk about the way mat drills or whatever else y'all were doing now is going.
Oh, yeah. We getting back to work, trying to go get another one. And can't get complacent now. Just trying to go back to back.
Kevin, that's going to wrap it up for us this week. We'll be right back here next week. We appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. And until next time, may all your check marks go in the win column. Goodbye, everybody.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.